Hello boxing fans, right now I'm talking about David Price versus Sam Sexton, and I'll go through a few of the undercard fights, the ones that were good. I'll start off with Dylan White versus some journeyman. I didn't really recognise who it was. I was there in person, so I didn't really hear who it was. Dylan White was good. Dylan White's told me on Twitter that he did break the guy's rib. He did go down like a sack of spuds in 52 seconds, this other guy. Dylan White is good. I like the guy. He seems like a nice guy too, and I think he's got a good future ahead of him. Dylan the villain, it looks like he's doing decent. We're gonna see. I guess we'll always see. Moving on to the Adil Anwar fight. This was also against a bit of a journeyman. The journeyman never been stopped. Adil Anwar did not stop him, but he had a really good go, and he dropped him I think 3 or 4 times. I can't remember exactly. I was on the sauce that night, and I wasn't that badly intoxicated actually, so totally there. Yeah, it was a good fight. Like I said, the thing about Anwar is he's like a very awkward style. He likes to pick his shots. He doesn't throw combinations and a lot of shots. He just picks 1 or 2 power shots. People said someone got in a fight outside and said he's got no power. He's got power because he gets the job done in 1 or 2 actual shots. You see, he doesn't throw like combinations of like real hitting power shots. He just throws 1 or 2. It's the way he's awkward, the way he moves. That's the thing about him, and he's got a good following, growing each fight. He looks decent, and I think he'll be fighting for the British title soon. So at £140, so I think that's going to be decent. I was actually sitting, by the way, right next to Adil Anwar's fans. They were crazy. It was too funny. I was sitting there. Next minute, right, there was the Ashley Theophane fight was on, and by the way, Ashley Theophane looked finished. He was awful. It was just total lackluster. It was just lackluster. The whole thing was start to finish a bit of a ball fest, to be perfectly honest. It wasn't the one I told my mate about. He expected Ashley Theophane to be decent. He wasn't. So anyway, yeah, I was sitting there. Next minute, some guy came over and had his hand on my shoulder talking to the guys next to me. I was like, what's this prick doing here? Turned round to like pretty much get up and say, get off me. And it was Adil Anwar. Seriously, Adil Anwar was sitting next to me for about, it must have been a good hour or so. And he was a decent guy. He did break his hand, by the way, in round 3. I looked at his hand. He was saying he broke his hand, and it was real fat. I was there taking me notes. I had a nice little hat on, make sure people knew that I was doing something. So yeah, he was decent. I'm gonna go see him again because he's a good fighter, nice guy. You know, it's what boxing really needs, really. And he's not ducking no one. He ain't ducking no one. He wants to fight people like Ashley Theophane, and Ashley Theophane's got nowhere to run now. Where you gonna go, Ashley? Get in the ring with Adil. We'll take it up to Bradford, Leeds, Liverpool, wherever, Manchester. We'll do it. Yeah, who else was there? Dickinson. He didn't do too well. He was a bit lackluster. The opponent was slippery. He didn't have a lot of success. Dickinson won the unanimous decision, but I wasn't impressed. And then moving on to the main event. Yeah, we'll go with the main event. Yeah, Sam Sexton, he did actually really well, considering I didn't think he would do half of what he did. You know, he was very elusive, the way he moved. He gave away a lot of weight in this fight, and I think it was over the stone he gave away. He was obviously giving away height as well, which he knew about. He tried to keep on the back foot, throw out a little jab, and then try and counterpunch with his stronger hand. It didn't really work because David Price is not the type of guy who just comes straight forward like a Larry Olubamiwu or Tyson Fury for that matter. He's got a lot more method behind his madness. So that's what I thought about that firstly. The first knockdown came in round 2. It was a bit of a flash knockdown. I don't think Sam Sexton was really hurt by it. He got up, said, yeah, well done, you knocked me down. And he kept going. He showed a great chin. In my prediction video I said he's got a brittle chin. I probably should take that back because he took a lot of ding dong shots in that fight, and he showed that actually he's got a good chin, and he had heart to stay with the fight. You know, he could have just stayed down off the first one, thought right, I'm just getting paid, but he didn't. He got back up, thought I'm going to try and keep going. He didn't disgrace himself, and I thought he did really well. He only had like 3 fans in the whole building, but you know, he did well. Round 3 came along, and it was more of the same. I think the first big right hand landed in it was either round 2 or round 3, and it buckled the knees of Sexton just slightly. You see what Sexton does, and this is how you can tell that he's hurt, is when a punch lands, he doesn't keep his hands up or throw his hands even higher. He puts his hands, he drops his hands. It's like he's got no control over where they've gone at all. So he was definitely hurt in either round 2 or 3. There was then another knockdown in that round, and it was a sweet uppercut. The uppercut was brilliant. It was a really good uppercut. I mean, like I said, repeat myself now. You've got to watch that fight if you haven't. It was sweet. He got up, and I would have stayed down personally, but he got up, kept going. He threw the kitchen sink at him in round 4. I think that was at the same time as the uppercut as well. Round 4, the uppercut. Threw the kitchen sink at him. You know, he had a good go. David Price did something that he's got to watch. You know, he's got to watch it. He can't get wild in there. If he's got a weak chin, people say he has. You know, if he gets wild in there like he did on the actual knockout punch, you know, he could get caught and he could get dropped. That is the bare facts of it. You know, he didn't in this time, and he got a nice right hook right on the chin of Sam Sexton, dropped him, and you know, that ended up being the end of the fight. The thing is, where does Price go from here? And you know, it's a hard one. I think he's going to fight Matt Skelton next, and I think with Matt Skelton, he does have the experience, and he will actually use a jab, and he's going to actually use a different type of mentality than the likes of Sam Sexton and John McDermott. Sorry about the pause. Yeah, so I think David Price will fight him and then move on to European level. I don't see much left for him in the domestic level, really. What will be the fight? What will be the point in fighting someone like Larry Olubamiwo for the British title? Maybe Michael Sprott would be a decent opponent. I don't know. You tell me. That's only at domestic level. Moving on to European level, you know, the world is oyster. Dimitrenko will be a good fight. Maybe Audley Harrison will be a good fight. You know, just thinking of the experience and what you'll possess in terms of a fight, I don't see why not. Also, there's that Timur Bragimov. He's always there and about. Maybe Jean-Marc Mormec. That'll be a decent fight. See how brittle his chin is, you know, and see if Wladimir Klitschko is the man, or if he was just taking advantage of a cruiserweight. It's a possibility, you know. You got to look at these things. Another guy, maybe Samuel Peter. That's a good one. Okay, so where does Sam Sexton go from here? I'm not 100% sure. He's a decent fighter. Maybe a rematch with Larry Olubamiwo. He could always fight against someone such as John McDermott as well. Also, like again, there's a lot of people out there for him. Maybe people such as, I don't know, Matt Skelton would fight him. Who knows? Anyway, it was a great bout list. I had a great time. Met a good few boxers. Derek Chisora was sitting 2 rows in front of me, and there was this absolute bunch of Cockney Mafia sitting right in front of me, like, yeah, you fucking mappy, knock him out, Price, knock him out. They were funny, and obviously the Adil Anwar army. So tell me what you think about the fights, and yeah, get back to me, guys.